And Colombian President Gustavo Petro has become the first foreign leader to visit Venezuela since the United States military abducted Nicolas Maduro on January 3. On Friday, Petro was greeted by Venezuela's interim president Delcy Rodriguez at the Miraflores presidential palace in Caracas. Their visit comes after a previously scheduled meeting in the Colombian border town of Cucuta was abruptly cancelled in March. And the administration of President Donald Trump plans to again end the temporary legal status of hundreds of thousands of people who applied for asylum in the United States via the CBP One app. The plan was detailed in a court filing in Boston, Massachusetts, and comes after a judge ruled that Trump's earlier effort to terminate the legal status of those individuals was unlawful.
That Israel has continued its attacks on southern Lebanon hours after ceasefire between the two countries was extended for a further 3 weeks. The Israeli military on Friday said it had eliminated 6 Hezbollah fighters in an exchange of fire in the area of Bint Jbeil, southern Lebanon. The Lebanese health ministry also reported that 2 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike in the southern area of Tulin.
And reports of unauthorized access to one of the most powerful artificial intelligence models yet developed have emerged. Nothing malicious, say the owners, but it has intensified focus on such technology falling into the wrong hands.
That United States President Donald Trump is sending envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to Pakistan as Iran's foreign minister arrived in the country. That raising hopes of new talks on ending the US-Israeli war on Iran amid a fragile ceasefire and growing tensions over control of the Hormuz Strait. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on Friday that US envoys would sit down with Abbas Araghchi, that expressing hope that parties would move the ball forward to a deal, but it remained unclear whether the Iranian delegation had agreed to hold talks.
And X-Energy's stock popped today in its debut on the Nasdaq, opening at 30.11 before closing at 29.20, up 27% over its initial public offering of $23 per share. Investors can't get enough nuclear power, apparently. Even the initial share price had been revised upward from the $16 to $19 target floated by the company during its investor roadshow. At close, the company was valued at $11.5 billion.
That Weiyao Wang spent 8 years at Meta, his first job out of college, helping build multimodal perception systems and contributing to open-world segmentation projects, including SAM3D. His final day at Meta was last week, and he has since joined Thinking Machines Lab. His move to Thinking Machines Lab, TML, comes as the AI startup expands on multiple fronts. TML just signed a multi-billion-dollar cloud deal with Google. That giving it access to NVIDIA's latest GB300 chips and making it one of the first startups to run on the hardware.
And Series, a social networking app, announced that it raised a $5.1 million pre-seed round with investors including Venmo co-founder Ikram Magdon Ismail, Pear VC, Reddit CEO Steve Huffman, and GPT-0 founder Edward Tian. And the company was founded early last year by Yale students Nathaniel Johnson and Sean Hargrove, both still seniors at the university. Series considers itself to be a next-generation social networking platform rather than an AI app, and hails itself as one of the first to work entirely through iMessage. Johnson, the CEO, told TechCrunch.
That in the largest and longest trial of its kind, 90% of patients receiving an experimental gene therapy for congenital deafness showed significant and lasting improvements in hearing. The study, conducted across 8 sites in China, that involved 42 participants, including 39 children and teenagers aged 9 months to 18 years and 3 adults. All participants had complete hearing loss at the start. While children showed greater improvement, 2 of the 3 adults also responded well, suggesting the treatment may benefit a broader age range.
Honor has introduced a new high-power charger during its recent gaming-focused launch event. The accessory is called the Honor Win 360W GAN adapter and is priced at $75 in China. The charger was launched alongside Honor's new laptops, including the Honor Win H9. And Xiaomi has announced an update to its MIMO voice AI platform with the launch of the MIMO V2.5 TTS series and MIMO V2.5 ASR. The company describes the new lineup as a full-length voice model system designed for the agent era, covering both speech output and speech input. The launch follows Xiaomi's MIMO V2 TTS model introduced in March, which focused on detailed control over tone, emotion, and speaking style. And XChat, X's standalone messaging app, launched to the public on Friday. Initially available on iOS devices, the new app allows users to connect with their X contacts for messaging, file sharing, audio and video calls, as well as group chats. The company first began publicly testing XChat with a small group of beta users earlier this year to get their feedback about the new experience.
That Comfu, a startup that helps creators control image, video, and audio outputs from diffusion models with a node-based workflow, has raised a $30 million funding round at a $500 million valuation. The round was led by Craft Ventures, with participation from other investors, including Pace Capital, Chemistry, and True.
And Israel finds itself engaged in two semi-frozen conflicts in Lebanon and Iran, but the outcome of these battles will likely be determined not by Israel's own political leaders, but by the United States and President Donald Trump. And Israeli analysts have told Al Jazeera, with US envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner headed to Pakistan for another round of talks with Iran, Israel is not included. And Trump announced on Thursday a 3-week extension to the ceasefire in Lebanon. Israel has, of course, and repeatedly violated that ceasefire, but analysts highlight that Trump continues to have more influence over events than his partners in Israel. And recent deadly Israeli attacks on Lebanon and Hezbollah rocket fire into Israel may amount to serious violations of international humanitarian law, the United Nations Human Rights Office, OHCHR, says. And the findings come from a UN report released on Friday, focusing on the first 3 weeks of the latest escalation between Israel and Hezbollah, which began on March 2. And Hezbollah fighters launched rockets at Israel in response to the US-Israeli attacks on Iran, prompting a large-scale military offensive from Israel.
That. A UK bill to legalise assisted dying in England and Wales will not become law after efforts by unelected lawmakers to stall its passage through Parliament. Time ran out for the terminally ill adults. End of life. Bill on Friday, after hitting a parliamentary quagmire of more than wafting 200 bill amendments tabled by appointed lawmakers in the House of Lords.
And United States President Donald Trump granted a 90-day extension to a shipping waiver that makes it easier to move oil, fuel and fertilizer around the US, the White House has said, and the latest effort to curb rising energy costs linked to the war with Iran. Friday's move, even though its impact on lowering prices is questionable, and reflects a broader push by the White House to dampen politically sensitive fuel price spikes before November's midterm elections, where affordability is expected to be a defining issue for voters. And the Islamabad Traffic Police has issued a comprehensive traffic advisory announcing widespread road closures and alternate routes ahead of expected diplomatic activity related to the US-Iran talks in the capital. According to the traffic plan, the red zone and extended red zone will remain completely closed for all types of traffic.
That. The federal government on Friday approved a big increase in diesel and petrol prices for the next 7 days. The Prime Minister has sanctioned an increase of 26.7 cents per litre in the price of diesel and 26.77 per litre for petrol. Following the approval, the price of diesel will now be 380.99 per litre and petrol is 393.35 per litre.
And the government raised the prices of petrol and high-speed diesel HSD by 20.77. Friday increased. The price of petrol now stands at Rs 393 and that of HSD at 380.99.
That Amal Khalil was killed while reporting on an Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon during a 10-day ceasefire. She is the 9th journalist killed in Lebanon this year. As Lebanon buries her and talks continue on extending the ceasefire, what does her death say about the prospects for accountability? In this episode,
and the administration of United States President Donald Trump has announced plans to expand the use of the federal death penalty, including through the deployment of firing squads. The announcement on Friday was part of a policy document issued by the Department of Justice, setting out the legal argument for various methods of execution.
That a court in Kosovo has convicted 3 ethnic Serbs on terrorism charges over their role in a deadly secession attempt near the country's northern border in 2023. The basic court in Pristina sentenced Blagoje Spasojevic and Vladimir Tolik to life in prison and Dusan Maksimovic to a 30-year jail term on Friday over the attack in the village of Banjka, which led to a clash with police that left 1 police officer and 3 of the gunmen. Google plans to invest up to $40 billion in Anthropic and support the AI firm's growing computing needs, Bloomberg reports. The Alphabet subsidiary is committing to invest $10 billion now at a $350 billion valuation for Anthropic. That, with another $30 billion to follow if Anthropic hits certain performance targets, according to Anthropic. The promise of investment comes after Anthropic released its latest model, Mythos, to a limited group of partners this month. That Anthropic says that Mythos is the company's most powerful model to date and has significant cybersecurity applications due to potential misuse. That Anthropic has restricted broader access while it works with select organizations to evaluate and address those risks, though the model has already fallen into unsanctioned hands. It's also likely expensive to run at scale. That the National Database and Registration Authority has launched a revamped official website aimed at transforming how citizens access identity services, data and support. The new platform is designed as a fully integrated digital system, offering easier access to key services such as CNIC, NICOP, POC, FRC, CRC and other certification processes for both local and overseas Pakistan. That Microsoft has reaffirmed its focus on improving Windows 11 quality and said future development of the operating system will be shaped by consumer feedback, especially input from Windows insiders. The company said it has brought together product experts and engineers who are focused on improving the Windows experience. That Infinix has introduced the GT50 Pro as the next model in its GT lineup following the GT30 Pro. That the company is positioning the phone as a gaming-first device and the center of a broader GT ecosystem with gaming accessories. The Infinix GT50 Pro features a 6.78-inch AMOLED display with a 5K resolution of 1208 by 2644 pixels. The screen supports a 144 Hz refresh rate, 330 Hz touch sampling rate, and up to 2800 Hz instant touch sampling. Peak brightness reaches 4,500 nits, that while Gorilla Glass 7i protects the panel.
And Islamabad. Maritime Affairs Minister Junaid Anwar Chaudhry sought on Friday a detailed report on the purported hijacking of an oil tanker by pirates near Somalia, with Pakistanis said to be among the hostages. A statement issued by the Ministry of Maritime Affairs referred to the reported incident, mentioning that the crew of the hijacked vessel was said to comprise 11 Pakistanis.
That the question hanging over Tehran since the opening's current war with the US and Israel is simple. Who is in charge? Formally, the answer is clear. Mojtaba Khamenei has assumed the role of supreme lead following the killing of his father, Ali Khamenei, on the first day of the war on 28 February. In the Islamic Republic system, that position is meant to be decisive. The leader has the final word on almost anything important: war, peace, and the state's strategic direction.